Good morning, coming to you live from Nasdaq's headquarters in Lower Manhattan. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Advisory Live, brought to you by Corporate Solutions. I'm your host, Will Briganti, and joining me is Jason Peters. Jason, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Will.
Great to have you back. Today we're going to talk about regional and community banks.
Sure.
All right, so how have they performed post-earnings?
Well, as you all know, the earnings season for the banking sector kicked off on July 14th, and despite some EPS beats from the majority of the regional banks, looking at the KBW Regional Banking Index, we're trading relatively flat since then.
And why is the trading relatively flat?
I think there's a few things. Following, leading up to earnings, we also had the CCAR results, which gave a big boost to majority of these banks. So what happened was we witnessed some rally up into some resistance for some of these major indices, where we kind of sold off following that.
Okay.
Add into that, we're witnessing a little bit of a lack of progress with the Trump's pro-growth agenda, which is continuing to kind of add to sentiment, as well as the Fed being remaining data dependent, which is also weighing on the banks. Traders have basically priced out a September rate hike, and current odds for a December hike are sub 50%, which will certainly weigh in on the net interest margin expansion for these regional banks.
Now, Jason, what are some of the key technical levels that you and the team look at?
Sure. So taking a look at again at the KBW Regional Banking Index, we've basically been range bound since bottoming in late March, and we're looking at resistance around 110, whereas we have support right around 100.
And any insight on sort of who some of the main investors are that are driving the price action?
That's a great question as well. We will get a fresh look at ownership changes for 2Q come August 14th, when we do have the next round of 13F filings come in. Although that won't capture what we're, the action behind most recent earnings period, we'll get a good look as to what these investors were doing, positioning themselves ahead of CCAR results as well as earnings.
Jason, thank you so much for that insight. We look forward to maybe having you back once those 13Fs post.
Thanks, Will.
All right, Jason, thank you so much. And thank you to all of our viewers on Periscope for tuning in to the Thursday edition of NASDAQ Advisory Live. We look forward to seeing you back here next Tuesday. And just a quick programming alert, I'll be coming to you live from the Windy City, Chicago, next Thursday, a week from today. We're going to be talking about MiFID II and some other regulations that are impacting the investor relations community. Until then, see you next time. Thanks for joining.